Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager, or as I have come to call him, the Marlboro Man. You're looking sharp, man.
Well, not as sharp as you, Jarret. You got me beat today.
The only reason I might agree with you, of course, is because I got this gear at Red Ritter Outfitter. We're both in our road whites and Tex on the road.
Right.
Red Ritter Outfitter, of course, is a gracious sponsor of this channel. And man, this hat as well, their Dark Horse products, all their products is great. Had a lot of y'all reach out about them, and that's awesome. Go to Red Ritter Outfitter for all your Double T gear. But speaking of going out on the road, so far Tech has looked really sharp in the Big 12 period, or just period this season, off to the 6-0 start, but really good in those two road wins at Utah and at Houston. They go back. Now it's the defending champs, Arizona State, who they're reeling a little bit. They, had a tough one against Utah. They have some tough injuries, but how do you see that game playing out?
Well, Arizona State's kind of an unusual team because, if you look at the statistical profile, it's really not all that impressive. You look at there appear to be some weaknesses here and there. However, the results on the scoreboard in the win-loss column, which is what really counts, are actually not too bad. They had the one bad game last week against Utah. Right. Without their starting quarterback.
Which is kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah, it is slightly important in a very tough environment, which Tech handled with aplomb, by the way. But still, I think you could probably, to a certain extent, maybe write off that as a little bit of an anomaly, a freak occurrence.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they've been pretty strong this season. They had the close loss at Mississippi State, but we know that Mississippi State's quite a bit better than they were last year. That's not a bad loss or anything. So beat TCU, beat Baylor. They've actually looked pretty good. So, I would expect, assuming that Arizona State is reasonably healthy and that Levitt is back, and that seems to be the trending feeling right now, is he's probably going to be back. I expect Arizona State to play pretty tough and give a pretty good account of themselves.
Yeah, we're filming this on Wednesday. We'll probably have this posted before the initial injury report comes out, but I expect both Barron and Levitt to play. Levitt has been practicing. Dillingham said himself, watching some of the Arizona State media availabilities. So I expect him to play. And I tell you what, you and I have been to Tempe before. I know.
Don't remind me.
I know. That's what everybody tells me, but I was impressed by their environment. This is not going to be, don't get me wrong, there's going to Red Raiders travel. There's going to be a lot of Tech fans there, but this is not going to be like Houston. It's going to be not dangerous, but it's going to be a hostile environment. Arizona State, they've been saying going back to Big 12 Media Day that they're gunning for Tech. Everybody's gunning for Tech at this point, but they're still the Big 12 champs, and Tech's got to beat the champs to be the champs. So I'm expecting a tough one. What's the matchup you're looking at in terms of being critical in this one?
Well, defensively, Arizona State, they play the run pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. And offensively, they run the football quite well.
Yeah.
They've got, again, assuming Levitt is in the lineup, he's a good running quarterback.
Yeah.
You got Rayleigh Brown.
Tyson's a really good receiver.
Jordan Tyson's a very good receiver, although he's only averaging about 11 yards per catch, but he catches a lot of balls, 7 touchdown catches. So that's pretty good. But they've got a good two-prong running game with Brown and Levitt, which will present a challenge. But frankly, with the way Texas Tech has defended the run, that just doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
I don't care who, if the Philadelphia Eagles line up against Texas Tech, you're Philadelphia Eagles.
Why you got to mention them? I guess I mentioned that game. What as you call Dante's Inferno, the hottest day in Arizona we went to.
Tit for tat. But if it's a battle between Tech's run defense and Arizona State's rushing offense, I like Texas Tech's odds there. Arizona State doesn't throw the ball all that well.
Yeah.
Even with Levitt, they're not that great, so I don't think you have to worry too much about that. Again, the issue with most Texas Tech games is going to be what Texas Tech's offense does against their defense.
Yeah.
That's the one area where the matchup may be somewhat even, potentially. Tech is not going to be able to just line up and mow them down in the running game, I don't think, although, man, Cameron Dickey, 263 yards.
And that offensive line,
So, that's a big deal right there, that matchup there. If Texas Tech can do anything on the ground, against these guys that they did in the previous week, then it's all over for Arizona State. I mean, their whole game plan has got to be centered around you have to shut down Texas Tech's running game. If you can't do that, then everything else falls apart.
Well, I agree with you. Arizona State, they have good personnel. They're good at stopping the run, but so is Utah. And so is Houston. Yeah. And they did a pretty good job for a half. But we're seeing Tech do to teams that we saw teams, like good teams used to do to Tech all the time. Tech would come out with some big offensive game plan, maybe jump out to a lead or play it kind of close. And then in the second half, just the monsters in the trenches would just win out. And that's football. And that's what we're seeing Tech do to teams. So I'm wondering if maybe Arizona State with juiced crowd, all that, comes out and maybe dare say Tech trails for the first time this season. But in the second half, it's kind of like McGuire said Monday during his press conference, lay the cards on the table. He's glad that J-Rod, Lee Hunter, the guys on the end, Mello and David Bailey are going to be on that plane with him. And there's an inevitability about that. So that's what I'm looking for. What I'm nervous about, and this is nitpicking because compared to past Tech teams we've covered, this really is nitpicking. But the receivers have shown a couple of times, whether it be against Houston, they got beaten some matchups. And I think you mentioned, or somebody mentioned to me, which I noticed as well, against Kansas, especially in that second quarter, they weren't getting a lot of separation, even against one-on-one man coverage. That's a little concerning to me and surprising. Now, I'm not saying it is a weakness. It's very hard for me to say Tech's receivers are a weakness. I mean, they're very talented. But that's something to monitor as we go forward. So I think maybe early how Tech's receivers do against Arizona's secondary, which has struggled some, and then you soften them up, tire them out, and then you battering ram them with Cam Dickey and that offensive line, which is playing both Dickey and the offensive line we talked about in the rapid fire have improved steadily every week. So I'm excited to see what they do in another really big test. What else stands out to you about this game, Mike Joe?
Well, in terms of that Tech passing game versus their pass defense matchup, Arizona State rushes the passer well. They've got 19 sacks on the season, which is a high total. They've got a bunch of different guys who can bring it. Keyshawn Elliott is at the top of the list, but they got 3 or 4 other guys who are good pass rushers. Ordinarily, that would concern you a little bit. But, I mean, everybody that Tech has played, at least in Big 12 play, has been good at rushing the passer.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to get the job done against Texas Tech. So, if that holds true and they nullify that pass rush, then they're kind of shaky on the back end anyway.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to worry about Cameron Dickey in the ground game. I think there is a potential there for Texas Tech to get a lot of work done in the passing game, too. So, I think that's going to be interesting to see. Arizona State has not been very good on special teams.
Yeah.
They are a heavily penalized team. So, again, like I said earlier on, there are weaknesses that appear in the statistical profile. But the results, on the other hand, have been pretty good. So, but, you can't be weak in any area against this Texas Tech team or you're in trouble.
All right, Mighty Joe, great stuff from you as always. That's a 3 p.m. Central Time kickoff in Tempe. That game will be on Fox. Once again, go to Red Raider Outfitter for all your Texas Tech gear. Thanks for watching, and until next time.